Thanks, Chris. To Scott Phillips from Motley Fool. And Scott, Westpac has passed on the Reserve Bank's August 50 basis points rate hike to its variable home loan customers.
Natalia, good evening. It certainly has. Took a little while. I don't think anyone's surprised that it finally got there. Unfortunately for borrowers, hopefully for savers, they also might pass on a little bit there as well. But it is what we expected to happen. And unfortunately, it may only be a couple of weeks now until the RBA moves again. So Westpac customers, you've got a couple of weeks reprieve. That's a good thing, but there might be more to come.
And oil prices have risen. What flow-on effect could we see back home from this?
Yeah, such a shame. I've got to say, the inflation numbers have been ordinary. We all know that. I had been hoping oil might fall and maybe keep falling or stabilise at lower levels. That would take a decent amount of heat out of the inflation number because, of course, not only do we use it directly in a lot of things, including transport, but it's an input cost for plastics manufacturing and so many other things. If the oil price went low and stayed low, that'd be fantastic news for the central banks around the world. As you suggest, there probably will be flow-on effects. Look, one day, a couple of days, doesn't make a huge difference, but if we can't keep the price down low, unfortunately, the RBA will have not much choice. It's going to have to act, and maybe a couple of times between now and Christmas.
And toll road operator, Transurban's shares declined 3.4% to $14.16 following its earnings result.
Yeah, slightly disappointing one for the market. Well, the positive news, I think, for Transurban is it managed to turn a profit. And given what it's been through over the past few years, what we've all been through, what Transurban's been through as we work out whether we're going to work from home sometimes, all the time, or not at all. It's been a really rocky road, if you excuse the pun, for the toll road operator. The good news for shareholders, it did return to profit, so that's good. Just wasn't as much as was expected, and the outlook not as bright as investors were hoping for.
Scott, the unemployment rate was another improvement, but not quite as good as it looked.
Yeah, look, it's hard to complain about a 48-year low, isn't it? And probably being a little bit difficult. Trying to find some negatives there. Look, bottom line, went from 3.5 to 3.4. Those are both extraordinarily low numbers. Puts the employment market in a great position as we do face a tough few months ahead. The challenge, as you suggest, though, with the unemployment number coming down, is it was because a whole lot of people left the labour market. They simply stopped looking for work. In that scenario, the way the maths is calculated, you do get a reported fall in the unemployment rate. It just wasn't quite that good, but hey, 3.3%, 3.5%. These are both really, really good numbers and a great place, as I said, for the economy to be placed as we go into those tougher times.
OK, and quickly before you go, what are we expecting from the US markets tonight?
Wish I had some better news for you, Natalia. Unfortunately, I don't. The early US futures are at a decline of about 0.25%. Who knows? It could turn around, but at this stage, at least, looks like a tough night in the US, and that might lead to our market here tomorrow.
OK. Scott, thanks for your great insights as always.
Thanks, Natalia.